Hello, hello, hello.
I gotta lift the glasses because you can't. You obviously
What?
can't see.
I can't see a thing.
Tell us what we look like when you guys come in. Like, do we look crazy or
Uh, uh,
because
I can't see it, so
I'm looking at you and
you looking at me?
looking at me, looking at you.
Ah,
Hashtag solar eclipse
solar
2024, you
eclipse.
guys. What's
Yeah.
going on? When you
Not to
come
tell if
in,
I still can't see anything.
yeah, when you come in, please say hi. D,
Hey, D,
hello.
how you doing? Hello.
D, tell us what the eclipse looked like in
In your area,
Delaware. Delaware. It's
yeah,
Delaware.
Delaware.
Mm-hmm. We are still in the eclipse spirit.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was
You were getting ready for work.
yeah, I was getting ready for work, but it did look different from through the window.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw some people looking up next door.
Oh, they had glasses.
No, I'm not talking about those neighbors. I'm talking about the neighbors back there.
Oh, it's funny because our neighbor's here, Melissa. Hey, Melissa.
Hey.
She messaged me and said, you can get solar eclipse sunglasses
We have
from 60 Kennybrook Drive, and I was like, we have them.
we actually had extra.
I got an email from the library this
Mhm.
morning, and it said they had more glasses in, and we already had
Mhm.
two, but I said, let me get one more pair. So I went to the library,
Mhm.
and by the time I got there,
They were gone.
they were all out again.
Yeah.
They got in 100 pairs of sunglasses. Again, this was another shipment.
Mhm.
And by what time did I get there? Before 11 a.m., they were
Mhm.
gone, 100 pair. So, which is telling me
You look
that
like that blind guy from the movie that had the glasses. The one that's fire turns into fire with the glasses on.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I think he's blind. The Four Avengers or whatever. Those show that you watch.
Is it a Marvel movie?
Mm-hmm. Mutants.
Oh, from X-Men?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Cyclops. Whew!
Okay. Yeah,
My brain was like burning for a second.
I knew you would get it.
So I'm really happy that they actually ran out of glasses at the library because that means a lot of people are on the email list. So that's a good thing when you're on the email list for the library. So
that is good. That's good. Well, we've been busy as always.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming down a little bit now.
Yeah.
Have some fun choreographing the routine for the young
Oh
kids.
my gosh.
That's gonna be really cool.
I really want to see that. I wish I could have
I did video a little bit of it, but we're not gonna show them to the.
I wanted to video you.
Choreographing.
It was adorable.
Yeah, it's fun. So a lot of things happen. Of course, for those of you, whether you local or not, my book was released.
Look at this guy. Look how cute.
And then my second book, the second book on children book, was also released on Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be the print copy is going to be in the middle of this week, probably a couple of days.
So those of you that are, if you're old like me and you like a nice hard copy book instead of a Kindle,
yeah,
give it a couple days and you'll be able to buy both books.
Yeah.
On Amazon. So
Well,
I'm very excited. Hey, Daryl.
I like Kindle because it's easy to carry.
Daryl is saying congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I find that so hard to believe that you like Kindle because it's easy to carry. Coming from a man,
I carry books all the time, though.
Coming from a man who will not get rid of his CD player and has 18,000 CDs.
Listen, some things I had to give up. It's hard to give up. Yeah, but I like books too. But like when I'm going away on meet, I want to bring all the books with me, and I bring it on Kindle. I saw my phone. I saw my yeah. You can't see anything through that.
You can't see anything.
Nothing at all.
You can't see a thing, you guys. But they were fun. I said to my husband, see, I just messed up my head. I said to my husband, we should put the glasses on when we go live tonight.
Yeah, and I said that would be fun. Yeah, well, listen, there's a lot of things going on. I know this young lady that we're going to bring on for since she was a kid. She was on the gymnastic team. And it's always interesting to me what have become of my gymnasts. And you know that they all have become something else. And, um, she also brought her daughter later on to gymnastics.
Yes.
And that was one of my proudest moments was coaching her daughter. I'm going to tell you why.
Determination.
And you know
but I know you're going to tell the story.
And the reason is because when she came in, she was really shy. She didn't talk at all. So when her mother told me uh, she wants to be on the team, I said, "What?" I thought she wouldn't even touch the ball. She was terrified. But when she went to the last meet, I believe that she competed, she did really well. So it went from being shy, hardly talking, to actually getting those skills that even the most optimist, are you sure that she wants to do this?
Right.
And then because the bars, but then she was good at it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's why I said the word determination, because you can't, if a kid has, I mean, if anyone
kid wants it,
if you want something bad enough and you're determined. Hey, Billy. Billie Jean is on, another class of 96er. So yeah, that I remember, and I had a feeling that you were going to tell that story.
Yeah, she was very, and then her mother, I remember the last routine that she did, it was on the bars. When I was coaching her, I remember her on the bars in the other room in the other building.
Room in the other building.
I don't know how I remember these things because these are years ago, but I remember, kids getting certain skill that they didn't have. I remember them doing it. I said, like, wow. Okay, but anyway, she's are you gonna introduce her, honey?
Sure. Christa Tyler is joining us tonight on Tweed Talks, and she has a very interesting story. And we hear all the time where people go through a sickness, an illness, and they really just become hyper focused on nutrition, which I think is key. I think it's key for even if you're dealing with the common cold, nutrition. And they always recommend soup because if you're putting a bunch of vegetables in the soup, it's the nutrients that are helping your body to fight off that cold. So she has a very interesting and a pretty amazing story that she's going to share with our viewers, and some of the pictures that she sent or that you have in the clip looks extremely yummy, and I wanted to eat the phone. So without further ado, we are going to welcome Christa Tyler to the show. She's going to talk about her experience. She's going to talk about food as nutrition, and she's going to just. Well, I don't want to say too much. Okay. So let's go ahead. We'll bring her on the show. Welcome, Christa Tyler, to Tweed Talks.
Hey.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure having us.
So the story about my daughter, Taylor, that was such an amazing story that you brought up. That is something that she to this day still pulls on. She goes, I was not good, but I wanted it. And that is what she continually taps into through college and trying to figure out what that next step is for her. So that was brought tears to my eyes to hear you say. Thanks for sharing.
Well, the thing is that she was good. At first she didn't really think that she was good, and that's the thing that I think a lot of kids
go through. Yeah.
But because they don't realize. But she was on the top. She got on the podium. When she competed, so she was good. Let me see.
Kids are always their worst critics. I think people in general, we always we're very. Oh my God!
She is your twin.
She is my little twin. That is for sure.
That is. I love New York in Binghamton. I can tell just by looking at the background.
It sure is. Oh, I love these. Well, you made quite the mark on both of us, as you do on everyone that you guys have the fortune to work with. So
well, thank you for saying that. But your story is very interesting because I know I was watching your videos, and I will recommend for everyone to go and watch your videos on Instagram.
Yes.
Because that's where when I found out that you were doing this, and before I got in touch with you, actually after I got in touch with you, then I have started hearing people that had cancer, and a couple of
sort of
my friends bodybuilding, and it seems like it was the proper time to bring you on because you got a lot to share about that. Yeah, and then we heard about the princess or the queen, the princess.
Oh yes,
right, and then we had a bodybuilder friend of ours that just revealed that she had it. So I'm sure that you're going to share some light on that from your own experience.
So my own experience, my whole journey started when I was just before my 29th birthday. I found a lump in my breast, and it turned out that I had an early stage breast cancer. Through various testing, I ended up having a lumpectomy, and then at a later date having a mastectomy. I had a lot of complications from that. And everybody sort of glossed over what those could be. And in the heat of the moment, you don't ask the questions, and you just go through the motions, and you take what is told a lot of times at face value just to get through it, as I did myself. I had a relatively healthy diet at that point. I didn't really put a lot of emphasis on it. I fed my kids well, and whatever they were eating, that's what I was eating by default. So I went through this whole journey in sort of an unempowered state, as I would view it looking back. And I got very, very sick during breast reconstruction, and I ended up with a huge systemic infection. And I remember being in the hospital by myself one night and not sleeping and being terrified, and really saying, if I get through this, I don't want other people to have that same experience. And there were things that I could have done differently that hindsight is 2020, that I wish I had done differently. And I didn't share it very publicly with anybody. It was very private. And I still am to some extent. So this was like a really big shift for me to start sharing my story to help other women, other people. Cancer is so prevalent. And if it's not you, it's someone you know, or it's someone you love. And if we can start having these conversations to empower people and make better decisions in the heat of the moment, and that's why I'm here. That's what I am hopeful to do. So through my whole journey, I went back to school. I got a degree in nutrition. I became a board certified health coach. I'm working on some other functional diagnostic nutrition certifications currently to be able to better people. When I was thrust out into the world and said, okay, you're good now, just go live your life, I was a shell of a person. I was out of shape. I was winded walking up the stairs in my house. It's 12 stairs. And I was, at that point, 33? That's horrifying. And I slowly had to put myself back together. I started running. My first foray was like 2 minutes on the treadmill. And I was told that it looks like you're going to die, so we're going to cut your treadmill off. That was in physical therapy. And I've slowly built from there. My first 5K was a slow, grueling feat that felt like I ran a marathon. It was truly only 3.1 miles, and it was almost 40 minutes. And through putting myself back together, now I run pretty well. I've shaved a lot of time off of that. And I just want to share with my journey with others and be able to walk them through the program that I've written over the last 12 years at this point. Some of it was quietly putting it together, and now more publicly through my Instagram.
I love the importance of this story, though, because I know I used a very simple example when you're fighting a common cold, how they talk about nutrition, but even in things that are that small, nutrition is so important. So imagine going through a terminal illness or going through a life shift or something like that, how important nutrition is for your body. And I feel like a lot of times with traditional medicine, it's about the medication and what they have to do or whatever procedure, but then the after, okay, like what do I put back into my body so I don't feel like a shell of a person?
Exactly. So I have a huge emphasis on whole foods. Everyone says, what can I take? What supplements can I take here, now, immediately? And yes, there are supplements that can help you. Every case is individual, and you have to speak with your physicians, your treating doctor, to make sure that, everybody's on board. So, but what can you do? You can, use the grocery store as your pharmacy. Whole foods. This is what I constantly preach. You can have it encapsulated form, but you're missing out on the fiber. You're missing out on all the freshness. You're missing out on all of those antioxidants that are naturally occurring that a lot of times you do lose. So for people who say, well, I don't have cancer, so this doesn't apply to me, it totally applies to you. It applies to everybody. My daughter called me last week and she said, I have a headache. I've had it for a week. I don't know what's going on. After a little deep dive, she was eating poorly. She was living off her Easter candy in her Easter basket. She was dehydrated. And lo and behold, she had, a delicious chicken orzo soup. She had some water. She ate well for 2 days and she's like, I'm totally fine. So it's across the board. The number one question that I do get from people on a regular basis is, what do I have for breakfast? That is their number one question. A lot of people feel that they start their day in an empowered way. It trickles down through the rest of the day. High protein, get a lot of berries into your diet. You can add some extra, you could flax seeds, chia seeds, all of these extra little goodies that we can sprinkle. So my go-to would be just plain unsweetened Greek yogurt. Throw a cup of berries of your choice, frozen or fresh, into it and sprinkle with some hemp hearts, chia seeds, little flax. And there you go. You have a hugely, protein to start your day with all of the omega-3s, 6 fatty acids, and you're getting lots of fiber in there as well. So that is like the go-to. Let's start our day right.
That sounds delicious. I think that's so important. And speak to the truth of having lots of color in your diet.
Oh, eat colors of the rainbow. One of the first things that I ask people, I say, when you make your plate, do you see a rainbow? Do you see lots of colors? And most people just stare at me. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, tell me what color is on your plate. They're like brown, white, gray.
Yummy.
Like, okay. So eat the rainbow, go in. We want to see all the colors, all the fruits, all the vegetables. And when you can take it like a 3-day challenge, and you can challenge yourself to say, okay, make your plate, look at it, take a mental picture of what it looks like. And the next time you go to the food store, try to have greens, if not more than one. Try to have some yellow, reds, blues, and really fill your plate. People are constantly telling me the more veggies I have, I crave them. It's the wildest thing. And I keep on telling people, you're changing your palate, you're changing your taste buds. And the more we're able to put all of those incredibly nutrient dense foods into our body, that's what we'll start to crave. We will stop having those sugar cravings, that late afternoon slump that I know so many people suffer with, gone. And we start, incorporating every little bit of color that you can onto that plate.
I love that. Let's post a comment from Kenitha Corley. I think her comment is very interesting. See, that's my problem. If there are too many colors, I won't eat it.
Okay. So too many colors, I won't eat it. Fair enough. So what happens if we take your entire day of color and we put them in small groups? So maybe we start in the morning with a red, if you will, and you could have strawberries or raspberries with your breakfast. We could focus on greens, whatever that, it could be salad, like lettuce. It could be broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, and, sort of put it in small chunks. So you're not having all of it at once.
That's a really good idea.
My drink is avocado.
Avocado is really yummy. Oh gosh.
It is a delish and another wonderful way to get more, healthy fats into you.
Yes.
What are we posting? Oh yeah, we said you said hello already. So if anyone has any questions while you guys are watching, please feel free to type it right into the comments. So tell us a little bit about your certification, Christa.
Okay, so board certified health coach is where I spend a lot of time in the space that I work in at this point. And that's where I started just looking at nutrition, and people don't want to hear from just a nutrition. They want a wellness overhaul, if you will. So that is where I spent a ton of time working with clients, coaching over 400 different clients to be able to get all the hours that I needed, and then able to sit for a board certification. And in doing so, I was able to rack up nutrition degrees, coaching, the art of a mindset change, to really put together a whole, a holistic wellness program. It's not a diet. It's not for now, it's forever. And once we get into that shift is where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep saying this. I love that. Treating the whole person.
Right.
Speaking to mind, body, your diet, everything that's, and because it's all one package. It's not just, okay, take this for the symptoms, take this. Mm-hmm. It's making sure the entire body and mind are healthy. So that is so, so important.
Correct. I have gotten into a much better routine. We all find ourselves in a state of constant chaos, just running from one thing to the next, and never really just taking a minute to sit and to really think about what's going on in your world, quieting your mind, and that mind-body connection. I will tell you, Pete was the first one to introduce it to me in gymnastics. And it is something that I never tapped into when I was younger. I wish I had. But man, it really is a game changer when you're able to start dialing everything back a little bit and sitting with yourself to be able to, even when you're eating, the rest and digest, and feeling what you're eating and being mindful.
Right. That is the key for sure. I want to know, I'm going to do a solo with you for a second. Look at that.
What are you showing me?
Look how young she looks.
Oh.
Why, thank you.
It's like what I was teaching her. I have two parents that are like that. I don't know if you know Denise Schneider.
The name sounds so familiar. If I saw
that was before you.
Sure, I would.
That was before you. And I saw her daughter on the Tonight Show. I said, I know that kid. I turned out to be her daughter.
Oh, wow.
And they look just like you and your daughter. They look just the same. You look the same. Like, you know who the mother is.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it when that happens, because it's like you can just tell right away.
So the nutrition is doing good by you. What else you doing as far as exercise and things like that?
So a quick rundown of my day is I start on a perfect day. Let's be real. My goal is always to start with morning yoga. I sneak down to where I have my yoga gym area set up in my house. I light a candle and I do some yoga in the dark before the chaos of the day. And I can tell a difference when I manage this practice versus when I don't. Go upstairs, have some breakfast. I will do, my goal is always to do 2 mindful sessions in the morning and 2 in the evening. And one of them is before bed. I get to the gym in my home now, probably 4 to 5 days a week. I incorporate strength training, yoga, Pilates, and my favorite, running, 4 to 5 days a week.
And you competed on your contest, right?
I'm sorry?
Tell me about this.
Oh, that. So I love to run local races. They're always for a wonderful cause. And I love the challenge. I love being able to push myself. That one, I believe, was last July. I can't remember offhand. And I pushed myself, and I did finish first in my age group. So I will take it.
All right.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Can you show some pictures of the food dishes?
Oh, I don't have.
You don't have that?
No.
The one you were showing me the other day, they were so colorful and amazing.
Oh, I think it was maybe my last reel that I posted, a sort of a day, an overview on my Instagram at Christa Tyler Coach.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh my gosh, it was. Yeah. It looked so good, and like I said, that's why I brought up the whole thing about eating lots of color because it just looks so vibrant and colorful. Now, for me, I'm the opposite of Kenitha. Like, I throw everything in the bowl, like lots of colors, and just shove it in my mouth. One of the things though that I'm trying to to get to do is I don't seem to have a lot of selection, I think, for breakfast because with celiac, with I can't have dairy, can't have soy. Okay. My diet is already limited now, so I'm trying to find some different ideas. So if you have some ideas, throw some out there. Maybe somebody else will need some, some ideas as well.
So celiacs, we navigate that in the Tyler household all the time. My son has celiacs. We're gluten-free as a result. So one breakfast that is a go-to in this household is the gluten-free sourdough bread from Char. We toast it up. We'll either do a nut butter on it. And my favorite is frozen berries. I buy them frozen. They're always on hand. And I defrost them, mash them up a little bit, and spread it all on top. So that's one go-to toast that we do a lot. Another one, so you're getting a little bit of the fats and protein from the peanut butter, your carbs from the sourdough, as well as a great amount of fiber and antioxidants first thing in the morning. For you, Crystal, if you were interested in a yogurt, Kite Hill makes a wonderful dairy-free yogurt that still has a fair amount of protein. Mix in hemp hearts, and then you're getting an extra about 10 grams of protein, as well as omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, which is a great way to start it. And everyone says, oh, sort of oatmeal gets a bad rap. It's going to make me gain weight. I don't want it. That's all false. There are numerous studies showing that, good old oatmeal helps aid weight loss. It has a ton of soluble fiber, and it is a really great way to start your day. If you can't make that commitment to an entire bowl of oatmeal, make a smoothie, take it with you, and put your raw oats right in your blender jar. It makes it super creamy, keeps it dairy-free. You're still getting the fibers, and you can use that as a building block for a wonderful smoothie on the go.
We like yogurt in this house. And I remember yogurt has a really nice memory for me because I remember when we were dating, and if I would go over my husband's house now, he would make fresh oatmeal in the morning and either slice up bananas and just make it really creamy, berries, or and some kind of berry, but nuts, walnuts, delicious.
Yeah, that was.
Now I want some oatmeal.
I find oatmeal super filling in the winter, and people are like, no, we can't eat it in the summer. It's not a summer food. So that's when I started experimenting with it in smoothies. So you're drinking it cold, you're still getting all the benefits of it, and you're still having that. You're feeling satisfied and full for quite some time.
Kenitha's saying that she eats oatmeal every morning.
That's pretty good.
Regular.
That's pretty good. I actually gave one of my martial arts students that because he gained a lot of weight. And so I told him to do that with the oatmeal, and then he lost a lot of weight. Jorge.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So and you gotta listen to me.
You were giving them pointers.
Yeah.
And when you're selecting your oatmeal, remember, opt away from all the sweeteners, all the flavored oatmeals. Those are just, as I call, sugar bombs, and they will detract from any benefit that you would be getting if you're looking for it as a weight loss, addition. So plain old oatmeal. And if you want a sweetener, a tablespoon of maple syrup or honey is still significantly less. It's naturally occurring, and your body's able to process it in a much easier fashion.
Or banana or blueberry.
Yeah.
Or banana and blueberry is even better.
Yeah.
Maple syrup is I like to use that. That's like my favorite sweetener is maple syrup. Yummy.
That's your daughter don't like it, but
yeah, I know.
She liked the other syrup.
Yeah.
I think the other syrup doesn't move fast enough for me.
We're in a really great place because we can get really fresh and good maple syrup all over.
Yes.
All over. Little shops.
Yes.
We bought some when we were in Narrowsburg at one point. They used to have it at the farmers market all the time. But I think that's one of the great things about living in this area.
It is. We're so blessed with that. My neighbor brings me once a week fresh eggs from their chickens, and she is baking sourdough bread. Kim is absolutely incredible. But having this in our backyard, and friends of ours also make maple syrup, which is to die for, the best I've ever had. So, I mean, we're so blessed to be able to have that right here and at our fingertips most of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like to hit up farmers markets?
Oh, I love them. I absolutely love it.
Do you have a favorite location?
So I go out to Callicoon a lot. I took a while to sort of discover that, but it is amazing. And some of the farmers, I just load up on all of my fruits and veggies there as much as I can. I leave with what looks like it's going to last us for weeks on end. And after you cook it down, it goes pretty quickly. So I head out to Callicoon a lot. I'm located in Bethel, so at Bethel Woods, when they're doing their farmers markets, I also like to pop over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've been to that one before.
Yeah, we've been to that one.
I think they only do it at the end of August into September, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
I can run there, so sometimes I will run there. I will meet a family member from my house. I'll do some shopping and I'll hitch a ride home. So.
Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, well, you got a bunch of apples and oranges and
No way. No, not at all.
Yeah.
But, and even if farmers markets aren't attainable in your area, even ShopRite is
good old ShopRite.
ShopRite, Hannaford, Adams. Sometimes they have such wonderful selections, and you can eat fresh year round. You really put some emphasis into it.
And now that they did, and that word was too cold for me. Now that they did redid ShopRite.
Yes. I went in today.
It's unbelievable.
And it's just, you walk in, and I'm so happy that the first aisle of ShopRite is just so bright and colorful. So, Christa, I know with you being a nutritionist, you have to heard that old saying where they put the fruits and veggies on the outside and how to shop. Can you speak a little bit to that? I know you have to have some info on that.
So, yeah. They channel you. It is, shopping is a marketing ploy. So, and they'll move displays. If something's not doing well in one place, they will move it to a different place, trial it. Sort of get you. So if you shop the perimeter, so if you think about it, when you come into your favorite food store, you're coming into the fresh fruits and veggies, and then you're going to probably move back to seafood. There's usually meats. And if you look around the periphery, that's where you have your staples. Fruits, veggies, your meats, your seafoods, dairy, your eggs. And it's all of the aisles in the middle, the filler aisles that make up the whole store, that there's a ton of areas that you can still make wonderful choices, or you can 100% go off the rails and you can go in with the best intentions and then see the sugary cereals and grab those. So food shopping, it has to be deliberate. It has to be on a full stomach, and it has to be with a list. If you were going in and you were sticking to it, and you get to know your food store, and you can sort of navigate away from the aisles that might be your huge area that you struggle to not throw all of the sweets or all of the carbs into that. So stick to the outsides. Load up on all your fresh fruits and veggies. The frozen food section, a lot of people overlook when they're looking to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Don't overlook it. They have wonderful frozen veggies that you will always have on hand. The fruits are picked at, the prime peak sweetness and frozen immediately. And those are also wonderful options to have as staples. So when people say, I can't get to the food store to eat well because I'd have to go 7 times a week, that is simply not true. So you can buy it fresh, process it and freeze it yourself, or save all the steps and head to the frozen fruit section, pick it up and have it stocked and ready to go.
That is so true. We buy frozen fruits in bulk at Sam's Club.
Yes.
But the bag is like this big, but inside are individual bags. So we can make 7 to 10 smoothies or whatever. So you don't have to open the entire bag. But that is a really good idea. If anyone shops at Sam's Club, love it.
They have a mixed berry bag, and they're not individually portioned out. However, it's a resealable bag, and it keeps the cost down significantly. And you can just throw an extra metal scoop in your bag, and you always have it ready to go to scoop out to make it easy. And you'll save a little bit on getting away from the pre-portioned stuff. And it's also at Sam's Club for a fraction of the cost if you were to buy it at other non-bulk stores.
Great advice.
Okay. That is such a good idea.
Okay.
What did she say? I have also started shopping weekly instead of trying to get 2 weeks or a month of food. It has helped with saving and eating what we purchase.
Yes. Yes. Food waste is huge. I hear a lot of families, they buy everything like for a month even and try to get through it. And a lot of people do really well with that approach. And the vast majority that I have spoken with really struggle with that approach. And towards the end of the month, they're not eating anything fresh and they feel that it's very redundant. And that's when a lot of people start slipping off their, wellness diet into just grabbing quick, easy things out of the pantry that might not be as supportive as doing it once a week. It's a routine shift for sure for your family. But once you get into it, it's really kind of rewarding. I love going food shopping at this point.
Wow, that makes so much sense though, because because when we get like fresh fruits and vegetables, like they only last for like 4 days because we're juicing them. And I'm like, man, I got to go back to the store. But it makes sense because we're eating everything that's fresh instead of.
Yeah.
And Billy Jean says, I started getting grocery delivery.
Yes.
Which helps keep my fresh fruits stocked.
Yeah. That is a wonderful luxury that we have access to. And plan ahead. And they usually have it there the next day. That's a wonderful strategy.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm getting lots of great ideas tonight. Sabrina says, I didn't realize how much we were really wasting. I used to think the kids we got to buy a bunch of food since it has been me. My husband, it has become easier. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, because kids like to eat a lot.
They do. They eat a whole lot. I go grocery shopping and like 48 hours later, my son, of course, comes down. He's like, there's nothing to eat. There's nothing in this house. So a lot gets eaten through very quickly. And if it's not front and center, ready to go, easy, then nothing's available, it seems.
Yeah.
They always say that even if you have food in the house, they still say there's nothing to eat.
You might have to take it and grill it. It's not, prepackaged and ready to go, or fruit or something like that.
They're saying that because there's things to eat. They just don't want to eat what's there.
Exactly. So my kids call our house an ingredients house. We have lots of ingredients that you have to do things with. And for a very long time, they hated it. They're like, we're an ingredients house. We're not a snack house. It's not fair. We like going to our friends' houses. We open the pantry and there's cookies and everything we need is right there, Mom. I was like, well, sorry, that's just not how I want to stock our house. But now that they're a bit older and they both cook, they're like, oh, there's always stuff on hand that we can make. And self-admittedly, they're like, we're lazy sometimes and don't want to do it, but it's there. The other strategy that I started doing is taking one day of my week and prepping a bunch of food. If I have celery and carrots and munchies chopped up in Ziploc bags, ready to go, my son will grab those over a bag of chips and salsa. And dip it in hummus. So I take a little bit of prep time each week and there's always something that's grab and go to make those healthier choices.
Yeah, my wife is really good at making gluten-free snack and things like that. And I pretend like I don't like it, but then when she comes back, they're gone.
Like these oatmeal cookie bars, but it's oatmeal, maple syrup, maybe chocolate chips, or maybe blueberries in it, or bananas or something like that. But yeah, he's my guinea pig.
That's a fun guinea pig to be. There's all happy snacks.
What is D saying? That's why I like vegetable and hummus. Grab that for a snack.
Hummus is good.
Hummus is great. It's, lots of fiber and there's protein in it and it holds up really well on a little bitty ice pack that you put in your kid's lunchbox to be able to take on the road with you. Always packing snacks in the car anytime we go somewhere. First, it was arising out of just not wanting to spend money on lousy food at a drive-through. And then later when my son was diagnosed with celiac disease, there's so many, it's limited. So we have this big cooler full of everything and we just take it on the road with us to avoid those pitfalls and those, road snacks.
You say you can make that with the
mashed bananas. Yeah, you can.
You sure can. There's a recipe that comes to mind. It's mashed bananas. It's oats, almond butter, and vanilla and an egg, and you mix it all, and it makes these dense, delicious little cupcakes that I have my son hooked on. So there's easy things.
Yeah. That sounds yummy too. You know, trying to find places that can accommodate when you have dietary issues used to be hard when we first started traveling together,
right,
all those years ago. But now it's so much easier. And also, wherever I go, I usually have like I buy cashews in bulk and like dried raisins or something like that, and almonds, and I just make my own trail mix. I always have to have that in a bag because we found that the last few gymnastics competitions in the coach's room, there haven't been really good choices. So, you know, you got to have that so you can, you know, that little bit of a sweetness.
That's why all the coaches are beginning to look the same.
The flip side of that is I hear a lot that I can't afford to eat healthy. With prepping and really being a savvy shopper, you can. There's so many things that I did a supermarket challenge with one client recently, and I gave him a list and he went food shopping with my list. And then the next week he did his own food shopping, and my list was the cheaper list. It was more nutrient dense. Yes, there was a little bit more prep work, but I actually broke the myth that eating healthy costs more money. It doesn't when done in a savvy way.
That's the most important thing.
You know what's funny about that? Think about that for a second. It's better to spend money now eating healthier than spending money because you're sick for not eating healthy.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's a way to look at it, because one way or the other,
you're spending
which one you rather have? Which one?
Yeah. That's definitely a valid point. But you know, I think in general, when you're eating healthy, you feel healthy. Like you were talking about Taylor, when she had headache for like 3 days or whatever. As soon as she started feeding herself better, hydrating, which is also important. I know that.
Exactly.
She started to feel better. Completely better.
And it's such a quick turnaround in many cases. Listen, it's not going to fix something in 3 days that you've been dealing with for 20 years, but you get quick wins. And it is those quick, small wins and those attainable goals that really keep you pressing forward. I've heard countless times, I have to have sugar every single day at 5 o'clock. I can't function without it. And we slowly integrate a little bit of fiber here, a little bit of fiber there, some more fruits and veggies. And all of a sudden they're like, I don't need sugar. And it's these small wins that really propel people. You feel lighter. You feel, a lot of people say they feel more confident within their choices, food shopping, more confident in just themselves. So it really has an amazing trickle-down effect to other areas in your world, not just in the kitchen when you're eating.
That is so true. I keep telling my wife that a lot of kids that are going through, you know, fear and things like that, it's because they're eating terrible.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, and they don't even realize, because they don't make the connection. You know, they think, oh, I'm just afraid of something. But there may be something in your diet. And, you know, and I study a lot with the Chinese medicine, and I see that there's definitely a correlation between what you eat and what you feel.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, it affects you mentally, and people don't realize that. But one of the ways for them to notice is that, how do you feel after you eat something? You know, because I know for a fact that if I had cheese, the next day I'm going to wake up and my throat is going to be,
yeah.
You know, and I hate to admit it, but yesterday we had pizza, and now today I'm feeling it.
Yeah, being your own best advocate to have a food, feel how you know, how do you feel the next day? How do you feel 2 hours later? And start journaling and being able to understand it. And you will see triggers that are unexpected. Many people are like, well, I have no problem with food dyes. Okay. Have you ever really done a study on yourself with the food dyes to see how you feel with and without? No. And you start, you know, seeing those trends. And when you see the trends consistently happening, then we can start pulling them out. And you're your own best advocate for everything in your world. You know how your body feels with it. And it's when you start noticing the patterns is when we can start making those really powerful changes for you.
we had a kid that was coming, and she was 5 years old or something, 6 years old. She was competing already, and she was doing great. She was doing great. Her mother would go and leave the kid there, and she was fine. And then all of a sudden, she started crying. You remember that? She started crying. She couldn't stay, and she would cry, cry, cry. And then we talked to her mom. I said, like, what happened all of a sudden? Because she'd been coming by herself for a long time.
Right, right.
And then she said, oh, she had this food that had dye in it. And remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we said, oh, wow, we didn't know she had but she was aware of it. But I think all the kids had it that day, and then she took it, and I guess, you have some dye, some blue dye or something. Oh, she's not supposed to have that.
Right.
So
blue dye, red. Throw the Takis in the garbage, please.
Exactly.
No Takis.
My earliest memory of how horrific food dyes particularly could be, I was at a doctor's appointment with my brother. It was a holistic provider. My brother was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes recently. So we were all there as a family getting educated. And they gave us a little vial, no bigger than my pinky, full of red dye, and said, hold it right to your sternum, extend your arm out. And they pushed on it. And I could not keep my arm up. I lost the muscle control. And now take the vial away, put it on the table, repeat the test, and your muscle, response comes back. That was the first time that I was probably 11 at that time. And I was like, wow, that's kind of scary. Now, did it stop me from eating red dye number 40 at that age? Of course not. In retrospect, as soon as I had kids, I'm like, wow, we cannot put that in their bodies. And that was, for me, my earliest memory of me thinking that nutrition really plays a big role in how it, can affect us either positively or really to your detriment. So,
yeah. See, yeah, they call that kinesiology testing, muscle testing. And I did it with a couple of the kids where I put sugar on an envelope and I said, hold it. And then we did the arm test, and they couldn't. No, this is something. but we didn't, and not only that, even thinking about it sometimes, just say sugar, and then we did.
And your mouth starts.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's how did you do that? That's a trick.
Yeah. Of all of the people that I work with on a regular basis, sugar is the area that we come back to on a very, very routine basis. And when they are really limiting their added sugars, they're feeling great. Their skin is clear. People are saying, I'm not bloated. I don't have that brain fog. I have energy in the afternoon. I don't have these highs and lows anymore. And one woman said, I don't feel crazy. Like I feel crazy in the afternoons. Like I am an addict trying to get my next hit of sugar. And once we're removing that, people are the response is overwhelming how well they're doing with it. So it's simple changes really go a very long way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I gotta chill out on my latte. But I make them at home.
You make it at home.
I make my lattes at home. Coffee.
Yes.
I don't know. I know I should cut back a little bit. That is my one vice. But
yeah.
We all
Do you add any added sweeteners to your coffee or your latte?
No.
I don't either. I use almond milk, and sometimes I use the non-dairy heavy cream. Okay. Because when you mix that with like the almond milk, it makes it like nice, and you get a nice froth.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not giving up my lattes anytime
soon. Exactly.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
So, Christa, how can folks reach you for consultation, for information, all that good stuff?
Wonderful. So the best way is on Instagram at Christa Tyler Coaching. You will have my link tree in my bio, and that can bring you to my website. There's a page for a free discovery call consult to see what I can do for you and what we can, if working together would be a fit. And there's just lots of information on my Instagram as well. Routinely share recipes and just different facets of my journey as well to follow along on.
All right.
Link tree. Okay, perfect. I got that there. So I'm just going to post that Write in the comments for folks.
There it is.
I spelled it wrong, so we're going to delete that, and I'll do it again. Second time is the charm.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's at Christa Tyler Coaching. There we go. See, that's what happens when you type with your thumbs.
Amazing.
Make sure that that's the right one. If not, we copy the link and put it there later.
On Insta.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. That was very entertaining.
And so
informative.
Yes.
And people could go back and watch the show. You know, it's on YouTube.
It'll be on
Facebook.
YouTube forever and ever.
Yeah. And, you know, come back and refer to it because sometimes people forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
But come back and refer to it and make sure you get in touch with Christa on Instagram and, you know, follow her and watch the video because that's how I said, wow, I know her for a long time, but these videos are very interesting. I was going to try to get some of those and play it, but go over to. Yeah, the reels are very effective. Yeah.
I think they're in my reels. There's quite a few. So check them out. And I'd love to connect with anybody who has some further questions.
Awesome. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Christa.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so good to see you guys. Thanks again.
An honor. It was an honor.
Have a great night.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Do you know what I want to do right now?
What?
I want to go to ShopRite.
Oh.
and get some fruit so we can juice tomorrow morning.
Well, we are going to continue with our food.
Yes.
And next week, and you know, it turns out that most of the people this month happen to be my former students. And next week we're going to have Brian Conklin. He's going to teach you how to make things from scratch.
Is he doing pasta or?
He's probably going to do pasta, but he's also going to be competing and cooking.
That's amazing.
And remember the last person that we had that was competing on cooking, he ended up on the Bravo show, the chef.
Epicurious you're talking about?
Yes. No, he ended up on Bravo competing and he won.
Are you talking about Lorenzo?
Yes.
Yes, Lorenzo. Yes. We're sending Lorenzo
love to Lorenzo.
Lorenzo. We're going to have him on because we want to have
We're going to have him and Kayla.
Him and Kayla, two people that are very dear to me that ended up with terminal illnesses, needed an organ transplant, and within the same week, the stories are not, associated with each other, but within the same week, during Holy Week, they both received their respective organs. Kayla needed a kidney, and Lorenzo needed a heart. He was doing well. Most of the tests came back today good, that his body is not rejecting the heart. So he may be able to go home tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Crazy.
Great.
So we're going to have them on at a later date. Is Brian joining us this coming Monday?
This coming Monday.
Okay.
And then I'm waiting for the other guest. So I'm not going to mention the other guest, but she is also holistic. She actually is personal chef, which Brian was also a personal chef, but she's a personal chef and she learned like Indian cooking and things like that.
Ooh.
She's doing all kinds of things. So I'm just waiting for her response, but I'm sure she will come on.
Excellent.
If that's a good day. Well, people, that was very entertaining and informative.
Go shop at the first and last aisle of your
so now my wife is going to go and spend some money. And I'm going to go and eat because I haven't eaten all day.
That's not my fault, guys.
No, it's not your fault. I was doing things. I was trying to get some television show.
But you need to stop and eat.
But I got it done. Okay. So we don't want it tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to, if you want to, listen tomorrow for.
I don't know if it's tomorrow.
Oh, you don't know if it's tomorrow?
I'm not sure
you
yet.
said tomorrow 11.
I said tomorrow or Wednesday. I will find out, you guys.
Wouldn't it be funny if my interview is playing on the same day that yours is playing?
Yes.
That would be funny.
It would.
Okay, we don't want to overexpose, but I need to get those books out.
Don't forget NCAA Gymnastics Championship in Fort Worth next week. I am looking forward to it.
Next week.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah. We're gonna make sure we eat lots of color. Make sure you guys eat lots of color. I really enjoyed that because I have a sweet tooth. And like I said, I love my lattes and I love my dark chocolate.
Okay.
I was not thinking that.
You wasn't thinking that chocolate. Yeah. But okay. We'll see you there. Thank you for joining us, and as always, love, peace, and harmony. We'll see you next week.
Bye guys.